Hello friends! Today we're going to be learning the most foundational design in the latte art book, the heart. But we're not just going to be doing your standard basic heart, we're actually going to be doing 3 variations on the heart, and with each variation you will learn a new foundational pouring technique that you can use in pretty much every design in the book. So we'll be doing your standard basic heart, then we're going to be doing a stacked or layered heart, which is basically just going to teach you how to pour stacks, and you can use that in a tulip, in a stacked winged swan, in like everything out there. And then finally, we're gonna be doing a rippled heart. So you'll learn how to do the little jiggle properly, and you can use that obviously in your Rosetta and your swans, in a seahorse, in like any design. You'll see pretty much those 3 variations, the basic heart, the stacked heart, and a ripple in like every latte art design in the book. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so a basic heart. What are we doing? How do we do it? How do we get it to not look like a butt and look like a heart instead? Well, the first thing I want to mention is that good art is going to come with good milk. So if you're struggling to get consistent milk, properly textured, properly tempered, whatever it might be, then make sure to practice that. Go check out our video on how to steam milk properly. That's gonna help a lot, but make sure that you are consistently nailing your milk as much as you can, and that's gonna help you a ton in any design that you're gonna pour. But all that aside, let's say you're getting perfect milk every time, you're a milk genie, how are you supposed to pour a heart? Well, it's pretty simple. You're gonna take a pitcher of perfectly steamed milk, you're gonna take your mug with a beautiful espresso shot in it, and you're gonna start by creating a base for yourself. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we made another video about how to pour latte art, just generically, what you should be thinking about, creating a base for yourself to pour kind of like a little canvas, really. So that's what I mean by creating my base. Essentially, I'm mixing my milk with my espresso to create one cohesive liquid. So I'm gonna create my base for myself, and I'm gonna fill my cup up about halfway when I'm making that base. That's gonna give me enough time to get a big enough heart, but it'll also make sure that I have a proper base to pour into, a nice little canvas for myself. Then, like I said, it's pretty simple. Your standard heart, all you're gonna do is you're gonna aim for the first kind of third of your cup with your pitcher. You don't wanna start at the very tip, and you don't wanna start too deep. You wanna aim about a third of the way in, and for a basic heart, all you're gonna do is you're gonna start pouring, and that's all. That's pretty much it. You're just gonna keep pouring, and you'll ever so slightly move towards the center. That's gonna start your heart to kind of begin caving in. So you're gonna pour a heavy stream. Make sure you're pouring pretty heavily. That's gonna create a bigger heart. If you're pouring too light, it might not kind of grow in size. So pour a heavy stream, and make sure as you're pouring, you're tilting your cup up. And basically, when it's almost all the way full, you're gonna lift up and you're gonna pull through. That's it for a heart. So you're gonna start pouring, leave it there, ever so slightly move to the center as it's pouring. Once it's almost full, lift up, pull through. That's the standard heart, folks. That's it, that's all. Let's see this in action. So here I'm starting by creating that base for myself. Gives me that nice canvas to work off of. Then when I'm happy, I'm gonna get nice and close, aim about a third of the way in, and pour that nice heavy stream, moving ever so slightly to the center. And when I'm done, I do my pull through. That ties it together, gives it that nice little point. And that's a heart. Okay, you did it. You poured a heart. Well done. If your first few attempts looked a bit more butt-like, don't worry about it. We've all been there. It is time to step it up a notch. We're gonna do the stacked heart. Stacked heart. What are we doing? How is it different from the heart? Well, it's actually pretty much the exact same, just times 3. We're gonna do 3 stacks, and it's gonna be very, very similar to how we poured our heart. So you're gonna start out, once again, creating that base. Fill it up about halfway for this design as well. And then you're gonna do the exact same thing that you did to start the heart. You're gonna start a third of the way in, pour pretty heavy, but you're not gonna fill the cup up. You're just gonna pour for about maybe 1 to 2 seconds, get something to show up, and then you're gonna stop. And then you're gonna do the exact same thing, move behind that last stack, pour, and as you're doing this, push this next stack into your other one. So move it slightly forward as you're pouring, so it kind of folds into that first stack that you poured. So you're gonna do the same thing, pour, stack, and then you're gonna stop again. And then you're gonna do it one more time, and that's gonna fill your cup up. Pour one more stack, fold it into the other 2 until the cup is full, lift up, pull through. That's gonna create 3 different layers to your heart. It's still gonna be a heart shaped if you did it properly, if you properly stacked them into each other, and you'll be good to go. You'll have a layered heart. And like I said, that third stack should be the one that fills it up all the way. I don't wanna do my 3 stacks, do my pull through, and then have it not be full and just kind of stay there pouring it until it fills up, because that's gonna shift my design and kind of cause it to run away from me. So make sure on that third stack, you're gonna leave it there until your cup is pretty much full. And for every design this is true, your pull through is the last thing that you do when your cup is full. All right, let's see this in action. All right, so once again, we're gonna start by creating our base. And one quick note about the base here is don't rush this stage. Don't pour too much milk at once. Otherwise you might break apart your crema, cause streaking in your base. You want one nice consistent color. Then again, nice and close, push that first stack to the center, push that second stack nice and deep into that first one, and push that third one into those other 2. Leave it there until I'm full and do that pull through. And there we have it. We have that stacked heart. You can do even more stacks if you want, but 3 is kind of nice. All right, we have our basic heart. We have our stacked/layered heart. Your final boss for today is the ripple heart. Now, doing ripples or wiggles or whatever you want to call them is something I see a lot of beginner baristas struggle with and usually do incorrectly for quite a while. The thing I see a lot of beginner baristas do is they'll ripple too quickly. They'll try and go really fast, and that usually yields very thin and empty lines. For a ripple, you want to do nice, slow, wide movements and kind of move with the momentum of the milk. That's going to help you get those nice wide lines and nice gaps in between those different layers. So it's hard to explain, but you'll kind of get it when you start feeling it. But basically, when you start pouring that liquid, you kind of have to start it aggressively, and then as you do so, the milk's going to start sloshing around in your pitcher and kind of moving back and forth. And you're kind of just following the momentum of that milk, if that makes any sense. Again, it's easier to feel than it is to explain. But basically, it's gonna kind of look like this. So it's a bit hard to tell here, but you can kind of see how the water is cascading up and down along the sides. That's the momentum that I'm talking about following here. Okay, so ripples, we have ripples, we understand what they are. How do we do a rippled heart? Well, like you guessed it, it's gonna start very similarly to the other 2. We're gonna fill our cup up about halfway. And then when we start to pour our ripple, what we're gonna do is we're gonna aim, once again, for about that first third. I'm gonna start pouring straight. As soon as my milk hits my little base, that's when I'm gonna start moving back and forth. So I'm not gonna start rippling and have my milk kind of go in with momentum. I'm gonna start straight. As my milk hits, I'm gonna start moving back and forth. And I'm gonna aim once again for that first third. I'm gonna move ever so slightly forward as I'm rippling, just a tiny, tiny bit. And that's gonna help me kind of widen out my heart, and it's gonna center it. And I'm gonna keep on rippling until I'm happy with how wide my heart is. And then once my cup is about full, I'm gonna stop rippling just for a second, lift up, and do my pull through. So pretty straightforward. Once you have that ripple down, these become a lot easier. The real practice here is just getting that nice momentum of the ripple. But once again, let's see this in action. Let's learn from the visual cues. Call me a broken record, but once again, we're starting with our base, creating that canvas for ourselves. Then once we're happy with that, I'm gonna get nice and close, pour straight. As soon as something shows up, that's when I start rippling. Then when I'm happy with how full it is, I stop rippling, pour straight, and then I do my pull through. That kind of fills up that center with a full heart, and then the ripples are on the outside. Kind of looks like an onion. And real quick, because this one's a bit more complicated, here's a second angle for you. So once again, start pouring straight, start my ripple, and then once I'm happy, stop my ripple and do my pull through. And that is the rippled heart. And just like that, you're a latte art master. You got 3 designs under your belt now. You're golden. Like I said, these 3 designs that we learned today are super duper foundational. You can pretty much pour just about every design in the latte art world with these 3 practices. So go do that. Go pour every latte art design in the world. What are you waiting for? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to learn this beautiful craft. Now get out there, pour some art, blow some minds, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.